How to become an entrepreneur with no money or experience. Being your own boss, calling all the shots, hustling to hit your goals. For many people, entrepreneurship is the ultimate career goal. But as awesome as running your own business sounds, it's also incredibly difficult. How difficult? 90% of startups fail. Entrepreneurs are also more anxious than other people and experience more day-to-day stress. After all, when you're responsible for the bottom line, every setback falls on you personally. Here's the good news: starting a company can be one of the most rewarding, exhilarating, and interesting opportunities you'll ever get. If you're aware of the risks and you're still dead set on being an entrepreneur, use the strategies and advice in this guide. In this post, we cover 1. How to become an entrepreneur. 2. How to get funding. 3. How to incorporate your business. 4. Help and support for entrepreneurs. How to become an entrepreneur. 1. Identify profitable startup ideas. 2. Identify and focus on a growing category or categories. 3. Fill an underserved demand. 4. Make something better or cheaper than what's out there. 5. Validate your startup idea with buyer persona research. 6. Start with a minimum viable product (MVP). 7. Create a business plan. 8. Continue to iterate based on feedback. 9. Find a co-founder. 1. Identify profitable startup ideas. A successful startup begins with an idea. You can't build a business without one. Here are some creative techniques for thinking of a product or service. Ask your friends what frustrates them. What makes a product or service profitable? It provides a solution for a problem or frustration that people are willing to pay to have alleviated. With that in mind, start by asking your friends what frustrates them. Founders get inspiration from their frustrations all the time. For instance, 1. Travis Kalanick and Garrett Camp started Uber after they had trouble getting a cab. 2. Andrew Cortina and Ikram Magdan Ismail founded Venmo, acquired by PayPal, after they had trouble paying each other back by check. 3. Chris Ricobono launched Untucked, a line of shirts that look good untucked, after getting frustrated with how wrinkly and ill-fitting his regular button-down shirts were when he didn't tuck them in. As you brainstorm, ask your friends to keep track of the day-to-day things that annoy them. Then go through their lists and look for problems you might be able to solve. Get inspired by other emerging startups. Checking out what other people have come up with can be a great way to kick your own thought process into gear. Go to Product Hunt, a constantly updated curation of the newest apps, websites, and games, for digital inspiration. Meanwhile, Kickstarter is great for physical products. There are also a ton of product review sites that might spark your creativity. Try Uncrate, Word, and Wirecutter. Identify trends to future-proof your idea. As the world changes, people need different products. As an example, the rise of Uber, Lyft, and other ride-sharing apps created a demand for a third-party app that will tell you the cheapest fares at that exact moment. You want to get ahead of the curve. Read trend predictions for your industry or market, or check out universal trend forecasting publications like Trend Hunter and Springwise. Then ask yourself, if these predictions come true, which tools will be necessary? 2. Identify and focus on a growing category or categories. Licensing expert and intellectual property strategist Stephen Key recommends picking a category that fascinates you but isn't overly competitive. I avoid industries that are notoriously challenging, like the toy industry. There are so many people creating in that space, he explains. You will have an easier time licensing your ideas if you focus on categories of products that are growing as well as receptive to open innovation. After you've picked a category, he says you should study all the products in that category. 1. What are each product's benefits, and how do they vary? 2. What's their packaging and marketing strategy? 3. What do reviewers say? 4. What are the potential improvements? Once you've picked a product, consider questions like: 1. What can be done to improve it? 2. Can I add a new feature? 3. What about a different material? 4. Can I personalize it somehow? Hi, waving hand, what's your name? First name. Last name. Hi Null, what's your email address? Email address. And your phone number? Phone number. What is your company's name and website? Company. Website. How many employees work there? 1. Get your free template. 3. Fill an underserved demand. You don't need to reinvent the wheel if there aren't enough wheels. Many people start successful businesses after noticing a gap in the market. For example, perhaps you learned there's a shortage of high-quality sales outsourcing. Since you have experience in sales development and account management at early-stage sales companies, you might decide to offer this service to tech startups. 4. Make something better or cheaper than what's out there. You don't always need to develop something brand new. If you can offer an existing product at a lower price point, better quality, or ideally, both, you'll have plenty of customers. Better yet, there's clearly an existing demand. As you go about your day, make a list of everything you use. Then review the list for something you could improve. Other suggestions. 1. Network with other entrepreneurs. Use Meetup or Eventbrite to find events in the local startup community. 1. Not only will networking with other entrepreneurs help you build valuable relationships, but it will also give you lots of ideas. 1. For some quick tips on how to network efficiently and meaningfully as an entrepreneur, check out our video guide here. 2. Research patent applications. Patent applications are typically made public 18 months after they were filed. 2. Although we don't recommend outright copying any inventions, browsing through these documents can give you a good sense of where a particular space is headed. 3. Have a brainstorming session. If you need to get your creative juices flowing, invite 3 to 5 other entrepreneurial-minded people to a brainstorming session. 3. Ask everyone to come prepared to discuss a certain product category or question, such as, what's your favorite type of X and Y? 3. Or do you use anything to accomplish Y? 3. Why or why not? 3. The answers may lead to some great ideas. 5. Validate your startup idea with buyer persona research. Great, you've got an idea. But don't quit your day job yet. Before you go all in, you need to know if people will actually want your product. No, your friends and family don't count. In order to safely gauge the viability of your product in the market, start by understanding your buyer persona, i.e., the real people you plan to sell to. If your product doesn't serve a need, they won't be interested, no matter how innovative or cool it is. That's why buyer persona and market research are so important. Once you've identified your ideal client, interviewing people who fit the bill should be an important component of your research. Show them a working demo of your product, ask what they like and what they don't, how much they pay for it, how often they'd use it, and so on. If you want to test the market's interest before building anything, build a landing page that describes your product or service. Ask people to submit their email addresses in exchange for early access, a free subscription, membership, or product, a discount, product updates, or some other compelling offer. Then promote the video on social, paid search, etc., and see how many visitors convert to signups. 6. Start with a minimum viable product, MVP. An MVP is the simplest, most basic version of your tool or service possible. It's functional enough to satisfy early customers and get a sense of what you should improve. Let's say you want to build an app that will connect college students with virtual tutors. You might create a bare-bones version, manually invite 150 tutors you found online to join, and then post the link to the app on the local university's Facebook page. If you get a decent number of signups, that's a sign you should move forward. If you get barely any, you should either rethink the idea or start fresh. Starting small with an MVP keeps your costs low to start but allows room for growth as the product continues to be validated. 7. Create a business plan. A business plan is a formalized document that details your business goals and the steps you'll take to achieve them. This may include marketing strategy, budget, and financial projections and milestones. As an entrepreneur, your job is to set your company's mission, vision, and long-term and short-term goals. As you do this kind of strategic planning for your venture, the business plan is an output of your work and helps to guide the growth of your startup. 8. Continue to iterate based on feedback. Keep in mind that your MVP will not likely be enough to stay competitive in the market categories you choose, especially if you have big dreams for your startup. Now comes the cycle: generating interest and demand, marketing the product, securing customers, selling the product, gauging satisfaction, improving the product based on feedback. And repeat. Optimizing all parts of this flywheel generates the revenue needed to invest in product, and investing in product generates additional interest from 1. Satisfied customers creating word-of-mouth referrals. 2. More competitive offerings that attract new customers. 9. Find a co-founder. Conventional wisdom says you should look for a co-founder when starting a new business. There are 3 main advantages to having a co-founder. 1. It's easier to get funding. Whether or not multiple founders actually contributes to a company's success, many venture capitalist investors believe it does. They're reluctant to back solo founders. 2. You have emotional support. Running a company is a stressful, exciting, and unique experience. If you're riding the emotional roller coaster by yourself, you won't have anyone to celebrate with during the ups or survive the downs. A co-founder understands exactly what you're going through and makes you feel less alone. 3. They can provide different skills, knowledge, and connections. Maybe you're great at selling, while your co-founder is more technical. You've got lots of connections, and they've actually started a business before. Picking a co-founder with a complementary resume is an excellent way to boost your odds of success. But there are also drawbacks to having a co-founder. 1. There can be conflict. You and your partner will inevitably disagree. A little healthy disagreement is productive, but if you don't find a solution relatively quickly, you'll waste valuable time and energy. Plus, you might hurt your team's morale. 2. You'll have to split the equity. If you're the sole owner of your company, you start with 100% equity. As time goes on and you hire more people and receive funding, you'll distribute that equity, but you'll likely be giving 0.005% to 35% to a single entity, depending on who they are. If you have a co-founder, you're automatically giving up 40 to 60% of your company in a single swoop. 3. Finding one can be difficult. It can be really hard to find someone with the same business ethics, work habits, and complementary personality. In addition, they need to believe in your vision, contribute the right skills, and have a desire to be your co-founder in the first place. That's a tall order. It's worth noting that there are plenty of examples of successful startups with single founders as well as unsuccessful ones that failed due to co-founder disputes. Make a decision based on your situation, not traditional advice. Where to find a co-founder? If you decide you want a co-founder, the next step is finding one. Look within your own network first. Choosing someone you already know, or whom your connections can vouch for, is much less risky than a stranger. This concept works in reverse as well. You've also got a better shot of convincing them to join you if they're a first or second degree connection. But if you've tapped your network without success, there are a few co-founder matching services you can turn to. 1. Stealth.ly. 2. Founder Nation. You can also attend local entrepreneurship events to meet potential partners. How to get funding to start a business. 1. Ask your family and friends to invest in your business. 2. Apply for a small business grant. 3. Use a crowdfunding platform. 4. Pitch to angel investors. 5. Solicit venture capital. 6. Use a credit card for a short-term cash option. 7. Get a microloan. 8. Bootstrap it. You have to spend money to make money. To fund your startup, consider the following options. 1. Ask your family and friends to invest in your business. Many entrepreneurs rely on their friends and family for an initial investment, typically called a seed round. You can exchange funding for a stake in your startup, i.e., your cousin receives 4% of the company after giving you $12,000, request personal loans, with or without interest, or even donations. 2. Apply for a small business grant. Federal, state, and local governments have programs to help small businesses, including low-interest loans, venture capital, and grants. To find programs your company qualifies for, check out grants.gov. Most businesses aren't eligible, so you might not be able to find anything. But it's worth looking into because hey, free money. 3. Use a crowdfunding platform. Kickstarter, Indiegogo, GoFundMe, Fundable, and other crowdfunding platforms let you get backing through an online campaign. This method doesn't just generate capital, it can also help you get early product feedback, brand awareness, and sometimes, if you have an interesting story or especially cool product, press.